Clobberin time! It's Clobberin time! Clobberonimo!
Yeah, greetings. Clobberers, clobberonimos, clobberoids, clobberooskies, or whatever. Clobber, whatever you want to clobber. Greetings, my clobbering friends. Hello. Welcome to Clobberin Times. A little bit later than usual. So sorry about that. Issue number 566. On YouTube, of course. That's the YouTube number. 1,266 overall over the past 14 years now. And it's just wild card Wednesday night. Just you and me, my friends. About a half hour late. So sorry. I want to thank, of course, my dear friend, the great Dictor Van Doomcock. I was, of course, honored, as always, to be sitting on a panel with that illustrious, august group over there with such wonderful guys and such an extraordinary, huge, and amazing chat. Again, it's always an honor to be over there with my good buddy Doom. And we just talked a little bit. I was there for a little while. So, and again, because he's moved to Wednesday night, because a lot of times, Loki didn't do my buddy Loki did not do his comic roundtable today. So, I had nothing going on anyway. So otherwise I could have done that. I would have done the roundtable, then gone over to DC's later. But so there was no roundtable. So I went over there and hung out with DC, the great Doomcock and the gang. And that was a lot of fun. And yeah. So I just pushed this back a little half hour. So I got a little bit of time to finish up over there. But again, it's an absolute honor hanging out with my boy Doomcock as always. He's been such a great friend to me. And he's the best. And I want to thank him and all those good guys over there and all those wonderful people in the chat for being very nice. Let's see what's going on out there in the world. Well, show notes. Let's do some show notes. And then we'll do some shout outs. First, the show notes, of course, tomorrow night. What it'll be some Clobbies Clubhouse time. But of course, a wonderful First Officer, Commander R.M. Briggs, and the great Chief Engineer himself, Balcony with a C. And I'm looking forward to that, of course, to hanging out with them as always. They are the best, two great friends. And yeah, I just love me some Clubhouse. Just have so much fun at the Clubhouse. And I know you all do as well. So let's see. Then, of course, tomorrow, I don't know if I will be on Nick's show. I don't know if I'll be on Nick's show on Midnight's Edge After Dark tomorrow night, because I'm going to be going to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at 3:30 my time. So by the time I get back, he may be over, but I'll try to stop on over there if I can, if Tom will even have me. I met Tom. I'm at Tom's show, didn't I? But I will try. I'll try to be on there, but either way, I'll definitely be here for the Clubhouse. I'll be hopefully be hanging out Friday night at 8:30 p.m. on my good buddy Nick Weiser's comic shop show channel. If he's not channel, if he's having the comic shop that night, I think he is. We're not. I don't think we're reviewing anything, but yeah, I think we're having it. But anyway, and then of course there is Saturday Night Star Trek #1 returns, and we will have 4 more episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine Season 6 reviewed. So there is that. And of course, there's also Sunday nights at the Sunday Night Geekery at the great Chief Engineer's place on his great channel. Please check out Mark D with the C's channel. And if he pops in later, we will have him put the links in. And of course, but the Geekery is fun, 10 p.m. Eastern on Sunday Night Geekery, just hanging out, geeking out. It's a lot of fun, and with an awesome dude and a lot of fun people. So, and then Monday nights, of course, as you all know, I'm now doing 2 shows on Monday nights. Once a week it'll be on my channel, but this week, and at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, three nights out of the month, it's on my good buddy J-Man's channel. J-Man and Sean and I are reviewing every appearance of the Legion of Superheroes from day one in chronological order, from 1958 through 1989. And I am looking forward to that. It's always such fun. So we'll be reviewing Action Comics 276 and Superman #147. And then a week from Monday night, J-Man and I will take a trip back to Earth B. That's right. We might have topped out. This might be the wackiest Bob Haney comic ever made, ever written. I haven't talked to J-Man about it yet, but he has, of course, agreed to review this as always. So I'm looking forward to reviewing another wacky World of Bob Haney presentation. We have a lot of fun doing this. That's, of course, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. In this case, a week from this Monday night. Brave and the Bold #115 from 1974. Cannot wait to do that. Let's shout out some. Our wrenches get shouted out every time because they do so much for us, whether they're here or not. I like to give them the shout out. The great Eric K., the Bronze Wrencher himself. He's the man. Always great to have him here. Chris Persia, what's up, buddy? Thanks for all you do. The Vindicator Wrench of the North. D. Bud Barton, the Wrench of Iron, and a great Iron Man expert, and I had a lot of fun. I had so much fun hanging out with him last week, reviewing Iron Man #6. Dude, and we must review another one soon. I hope we do. Lord Thoth, and shout the God of Wrenches, and shout out to his wonderful Lady Thoth. Avon lives and long live the Legion. My partner in crime on Earth B and fellow Legionnaire reviewer, the Wrench Without Fear, the aforementioned great J-Man. Hungry Boy, master of the Clobberin, comic book artist extraordinaire, and painter of the cover of the wonderful science fiction tales by Commander R.M. Briggs. Super Wrench Supreme Kal-El. Maddie's daddy, wielder of Wrench Mjolnir, and Thor Vegas, and of course, that old rascal, Fanty Outsider. Good to see you, Fanty. Let's see who else is here with us tonight. Let's shout out people that we didn't get that aren't riches, but we'd like to shout you all out. Why not? It's just me hanging out with you tonight, folks. JT Kurt, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Could not be ranks for further comment. Hey there. Good to see you. Alejandro Flores Ibarra. Hey there. Show 666. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that one. Let's see. Dave C. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Let's see here. Bop. That's everybody so far. Alejandro asked the question, how often have you collabed with Doomcock Clubby? Well, let's see. We go back to something like, I think, January of 2019 when I had him on my Blog Talk radio show. I've only been on YouTube since the summer of 2020. But I think that's what it was. Or was it 2021? Oh man, I can't remember what. Maybe 20, maybe 21. I don't remember now. Oh my God, was it 20? Anyway, so he came on my show and was kind enough to spend an hour and a half or so, or almost 2 hours, I guess, just hanging out talking to me. This is when his channel was just starting to blow up. He was just getting out there and stuff. And I discovered him a few months earlier, and we hung out. And became friends that way. And he started having me on once in a while, just to go on his channel. And when he would have his Friday night show, I went on there a few times with him. And then so how many times? Oh, many. I can't count how many times I've been fortunate enough to go on his channel with him, and I've had him on my channel a number of times over here, hanging out here as well. He's been on. He's come on some Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk. He's been on one of my round tables. I think once we had him on there. We had him. I've had him. I think he's been at the clubhouse with us one night or a couple of different nights. So, and again, like I said, I've been there a good bit. So, and there you go. So what else is everybody? What's going on with all you tonight? Let's see. We got, like I said, got nothing really going on. Let's see. Alejandro says, I went to go see the 40th anniversary release of Return of the Jedi. Cool. With my parents last Saturday night. Oh, wow. First time I've ever gotten to see any of the original trilogy on the big screen. Oh, wow. Okay. Not counting the times I went in 1993 to see it on the big screen, the many times I saw it then. I think I saw it on the big screen, of course, when they had the special edition back in the 90s, in 97, meaning Jedi. And then after that, since then, I don't think I've seen it on the big screen myself. So I guess that would be, I'm tempted to, if it's hanging around a while, Alejandro, I wouldn't mind going to the theater to see it myself, even if it is the special edition, which I have some problems with, but still. So that's pretty cool that you went to see that, Alejandro. It's important to go see that when you get a chance to go see them on the big screen. It's just so fun. So I like it. Very cool. Let's see. What did I have? Something. Oh, what was it? I can't remember what it was now. I had something to mention. JT says, I went to go see Return of the Jedi, a Return of the Special Edition in IMAX, and the leather recliners. I fell asleep right after Jabba was deleted, and woke up with the Emperor cackling. Were you tired, or were you bored? Were you tired, JT? What's the deal, man? Oh boy. Hope to see it again next Tuesday, since it's a discount day at the local multiplex, says Alejandro. I don't even know if it's playing near me. I hope I need to check. Of course, tomorrow I'm going to see Guardians. That's what I needed to say. I asked this question last week. And got an interesting answer. Let's see it again. Are you? Well, I'll let you read it. Are you? See? I did this the other night, so I'll do it again. See how it plays this time. Sorry for the typing, folks. Okay. What do you want to see? There we go. But I want to, I'll run that one again, just like I did it Monday, and see what we get. Maddie's daddy, you driving, bro? Oh, cool. Well, both hands on the wheel. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. But you know what? I went back. I guess I can say, as far as Guardians of the Galaxy, is concerned, I went back and since I'm going to see that tomorrow, I went back and watched the first two movies. I watched all of their MCU appearances, which means, of course, the first two movies. The Avengers Infinity War. Then there was okay, get first two movies, obviously. Infinity War, Endgame, and then you had oh boy, yeah, they were in Thor Love and Blunder for a second, and then of course there was the holiday special. And so I watched all of those in preparation, just to, I don't know, just for the hell of it, I guess. And you know, I hope the new one's good. I hope the new. My basic view on all of them. Let me see where I rated them. In fact, the movies anyway. Okay, all of their appearances. Because I have all the Marvel movies rated. My good buddy Michael, with Retro Blasting fame, who was of course a fantastic friend of mine and a friend of the show and the channel, has been on here many times, and we're gonna hopefully get him on again soon. He and I have twice now did a show where we ranked the MCU/MCU movies and rated them. So let me see where. And right now, there are 31. There are 31 of these movies, if you count in toto. And since we're talking about Marvel movies anyway, may as well go through the whole thing. I'll go through the whole list of those who haven't heard my ranking. But first, just to give you an idea where I have the Guardians movies ranked. Of course, they're two official movies. I believe the first movie, I got it as a top 10er. I mean, I got it number 9. I got the second movie at number 13. But Love and Blunder's not their movie, but they're in it. I got that way down at 28, of course. Well, before that, I've got Infinity War at number 2, and I've got Endgame at number 7. So I should probably switch that around. I should probably change my ratings fluctuate on these movies. I got to admit. I don't know if Michael does that, but I do it. He definitely has a far more disciplined mind than me, so he probably doesn't do it as much. Although anyone can change their mind on stuff, but you know what I mean. I just hope it's fun. Look, they're talking about this one. Someone even mentioned in the chat this could be one of the darkest of the three movies. Look, these movies have been so bad from them, except for maybe the Spider-Man one, was I had a lot of problems with Spider-Man, but it was okay. Can we just for old time's sake? I'm gonna go in. I hate Disney. I hate a lot of things they do. They deserve nothing but our disgust. James Gunn deserves disgust too, because he's a jackass. But as someone who just wants to go see a fun movie, the Guardians of the Galaxy, I got to admit, look, there's a certain thing about amongst fandoms, and you guys can, hear me out on this and see what you think, see what your opinion is. We do tend to be, it's kind of human nature. We bias towards about the stuff we love. For example, how many times have you heard someone say, yeah, well, I was never really into that anyway. So what they did, all the stuff they did in the movie doesn't bother me. But I can see why it bothers you that you were more into it than me. In other words, saying, a super fan, an uber fan of something can really be annoyed with a lot of canonical and other types of changes and character changes where someone who was never really cared much for it anyway will go, yeah, I watched it, thought it was pretty good, but I'm not hung up on all the changes. So I'm as guilty as the next guy. For example, when they adapt something that I love and they piss me off by screwing things up, I can't tell how many times I've had somebody say, yeah, well, I see what you're saying, but I was never that big on it anyway, so I thought that was fine that they did that. Whatever I'm bitching about, And I used to get kind of perturbed by that, but at the same time, I understood it, right? And now, of course, I'm on the other end of it. Sometimes there are things that's starting to happen to me at some point. Like it could be something that I was never really into that much, and then I see the movie of it and go, that was pretty good. And then someone who's a fan of it comes along and says, but they did this and they did that, and I don't know anything about it. It's not my bag, and I will, you know what though? But I can empathize. I go, yeah, well, look, believe me, I'm not in your position for this particular thing, but I've been there, so I hear you, and I feel for you on that big time. I really do, and that's not, I feel for you on that. Angry boy with the stupid motorcycle. Yeah, X-Men motocross uniforms. So when it comes to the Guardians of the Galaxy, my basic history with them as a comic book fan, when you Google or goggle if you're a Cobra Kai fan, I just Googled Guardians of the Galaxy, and all I get is movie crap. I guess I probably have to put Marvel Spotlight to get some of the covers of the old comics. So let's see here. What the hell? We'll talk some Guardians of the Galaxy tonight. Why? I have nothing else. It's wild card, right? If I want to pull up some comics covers with the way I first saw these guys, it gave me a bunch of Star-Lord stuff. Wow, what is with the? That's not. I was looking for. That's not the covers I'm looking for, you jerkweeds. Hey, Google, I didn't ask you shit about Star-Lord. He wasn't even in the original group. Hey, Steven Ransom, what's up? All right, now, this is pissing me off. Star-Lord, no. Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel Spotlight, because they were in the Marvel premiere, probably. Sorry. I'm an idiot. Why did I ever doubt you? Oh, no, don't. Not the premiere, you jagoffs. Marvel Presents. Now I remember. I'm not seeing the chat, anybody, so if you're yelling at me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find. Yeah, there we go. All right. God damn it. Jesus. All right. This is the Guardians group I like. And I would look, by the way, when I say I like them, yeah, Vance Astro. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Fanty. They will restart Guardians of the Galaxy should do in the original team. And they have versions of them in the movie. Martinez, Yodu, Yondu, Major Vance Astro, Charlie 27, then Starhawk, and finally Nikki. Yes. So I like this group. I mean, and I was never that. It's not like, look, when I say I like them, back when this is actually the cover of a facsimile. When I say I like them, I was never a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan of any of the other issues of the comics, but this is the first time I saw them. That's true. Could not be. Yes, Stallone is Starhawk, and I think he's in the new movie. But I liked Charlie 27, and I like Vance Astro. And I like Yondu's cool, and Martin X is cool, and Starhawk. This is the group that I kind of liked when I started seeing them in some of the Marvel 2-in-1 team-up books. So the only time I really read comics with them in it back then, like for example, I didn't pick up this Marvel Comics Presents. I looked at them and go, they're okay, but there was a Fantastic Four comic there, right? Yeah, so, you know how that goes. When but I like them, and I like them fine. And when I look at that. I mean, I think I bought this issue, if I'm not mistaken. That's a great cover right there. Look at that. That's a nice cover. So, but I thought they were cool, and then when they were teaming up with Ben Grimm, they were cool and all that stuff. And then, but that was about it. I was like, they were fine, but it was not. I mean, look, I always thought they're kind of like trying to be sort of like the Legion in a sense, not really, but kind of. And the Legion were better. Legion's better. Look, Legion Superheroes is better than the Guardians of the Galaxy any day of the week. Sorry. Could not be reached. That's the Guardians. That's the. So when I think Guardians of the Galaxy, that's what I think about. And they had Jim Valentino had a series in the late 80s that I didn't really buy much, but I had friends who liked it. But my point being is, when I think Star-Lord, I think about him in his own comic, in some of those magazines and other stuff. So when I heard they were doing a Guardians of the Galaxy movie back around 2013 or before that came out in 2014, but when I heard they were doing it, I'm like, really? What? Why are we doing why are you doing a Guardians of the Galaxy movie? I don't get it. I don't see that. And then I was not buying current Marvel. Full disclosure, I was not buying and had not bought Marvel at all at that point for many years. So I see it on the rack sometimes. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. And again, it wasn't the biggest, like these guys I thought were pretty cool. I didn't read them a lot, Didn't read them a lot, so they weren't a big deal. Indeed, Hunger Boy. So the Guardians weren't even really a big deal to me. I liked them, and they were okay, but they're not the FF or the Avengers or anything like that, just when it comes to a Marvel property. But I had one buddy of mine really liked that. Was that Ian? Was it that Abnett and Lanning? I think version, and it had I would see it every now and then, and when I saw they were making a movie, I was like, oh, cool. Well, I mean, it's kind of off the wall. I don't know why one wants to see that, but Vance Astro, right? Charlie 27, no. Yondu is in it, but he's not the same Yondu. Oh yeah, you're right. Look, no, could not be. That is exactly right. The Shi'ar they're an intentional ripoff. The Imperial Guard are an absolutely intentional ripoff of the Legion by Dave Cockrum, which was kind of endearing in a sense. Look, I love Dave Cockrum and I love his Legion, so yeah, there's no question about it. There was one time there was even planned a Legion of Superheroes X-Men crossover, but we ended up being Teen Titans because new Teen Titans were bigger. Anyway, and then Legion Sob. What a shame. I would love to send a Legion one. Anyway, so Guardians of the Galaxy, it was a head scratcher to me. I'm like, really? They rolled the dice. James Gunn made it happen. When it came closer to movie time in 2014, I was like, oh, they're based on that new group. I don't even give a crap. Groot's in the comic, isn't he an old Jack Kirby monster? What the hell? Which he was. But now they got a new version of him. Star-Lord doesn't look like Star-Lord. Star-Lord's like a tough, no-nonsense space cop kind of guy. He doesn't, And I guess in the comic he was at first. And then some asshole got a hold of him. Well, anyway. And so Rocket Raccoon, I didn't care about Rocket Raccoon. I'd seen him in the Hulk comic once or twice. And I just, as a kid or as a young adult or whatever it was, I was like, I don't really need to see a talking cartoon does raccoon. I mean, in a Marvel comic, I didn't care. There you go, Fanty. Matthew Pounder, good to see you. So I didn't really care about Guardians one way or the other. But I had no skin in this game whatsoever. And when I saw start seeing the ads for the movie, I was like, I don't know, this kind of looks kind of funny. Now I will full disclosure tell you what a good friend of mine who is not only a fan of this version of the Guardians, he is a fan of that group that you see in the movie as well. He liked the Abnett and Lanning run on the series that they adapted this from. These are his words now, and I quote him all the time on this because he actually had skin in the game. I have a friend of mine who hates the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and I guess he hates the second one too. And his argument, look, I can absolutely understand him. I mean, I love the movie. Again, it's that whole thing I was talking about earlier. I didn't have any dog in the hunt. No dog in the race. I hear you. Al Milgram. Ugh. Hungry boy, I hear you. Steve Gerber's version. That was good stuff, Matthew. Anyway, so my friend would say, well, their Star-Lord in the movie's terrible because he's he's a horny man-child. He's not a badass cop. Chris Pratt was playing him like a horny man-child, and he was. That, whether you like the movies or not, I mean, to me, that's indisputable. And again, it doesn't mean you have to dislike the movies just because he does. I mean, and yet, of course, I went to see the movie, and I loved it. I love the first movie. I do understand his concern because, again, this is someone, he's a far bigger fan of that run, and I didn't even read that run, but he did. So I give him a lot of, I don't even mess with him about it. I'm like, well, I hear you, man. I know how you feel. And I do know how he feels because I've had things I love destroyed. Didn't bother me, but I do have the empathy for him there. And anybody else who has something ruined, and I enjoyed it because I didn't watch it, I don't know what they do, I still feel for him. Because we've all been there, haven't we? We've all been there. Keely Chow, what's up, buddy? So, again, after that, I became I'm a fan of the movie iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy. I like them. I like them a lot. Oliver Belamonte, what's up, dude? So I saw the second one. I thought by the way, the soundtrack to the first one, I would play it over and over again. I love the music. What a wonderful soundtrack both of them have. I listened to that. Well, it's not like a score, but the music from the soundtrack. I love the way he uses music in it. I agree. By the way, my friend, he's not a prude, but he says he doesn't think they should have a lot of the toilet humor that they have in those two movies. I can't disagree with him because a lot of kids watch that stuff, but he thinks kids shouldn't be seeing that stuff. He thinks it's inappropriate. You can laugh at him all you want. I don't laugh at him on that. I understand where he's coming from. And again, I still like the movies. Anyway, I saw this. I think the second movie is not quite as good as the first. But I really I think the first movie is just highly entertaining. The second movie is highly entertaining. It's a lot of great stuff in it. And again, both have great sound music. I keep saying soundtracks, but the music, the stuff. And excuse me. The let's see, the next time we see them in Avengers Infinity War, obviously I love that movie. DVB, hello there. Let's take a look at our poll. We did it the other night. We're trying it again. 20 votes already. Whoa. 90% no so far. Waggle. My goodness. My goodness. Good to see you, DVB. Thank you for being here. So, in-game, more problem. I mean, I have a lot of problems with the movie in-game, but they, it was still, the Guardians are in it a little bit, so I watched it again, and then I watched that just the Guardians bits of Love and Blunder, because I'll never watch that piece of crap movie again. I hated that movie, but I wanted, because the Guardians 3 is coming out, I watched their little scenes in it. And then, of course, I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special again, and I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. So I'm very well disposed towards Guardians of the Galaxy. One of the few things that's not so far hasn't been tarnished by the MCU yet, in my opinion. So I'm going tomorrow to see it, and I'm going to let myself be cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to go overboard. 70s, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're doing well. The great 70s rock fan. What's up, bro? So I'm going to let myself be cautiously optimistic about Guardians 3. I'm going to keep my guard up, but I'm going to go tomorrow at 3:30. Down here where I am, I'll be the only one my buddy and I will be the only ones in the theater. I keep checking the tickets. I'm not even going to reserve tickets. There's one ticket in a fairly decent sized auditorium. At 3:30 showing, so far only one ticket's been sold. Now, obviously, later, and I even looked at some of the later viewings just for the hell of it. And yeah, that doesn't mean anything. I'm not even predicting. I'm not the kind that predicts how a movie's going to do or not. I have a suspicion this one's not going to do overly great, but not overly terrible either. Matthew Pounder says, did they make Star-Lord recently? You mean in the comic book? I don't follow the regular any Marvel comics. Well, there was one I read the other day, but other than that, I don't. So I don't know, Matthew. You tell me, buddy. So I'm well disposed for the Guardians. So far, they haven't been ruined. This might ruin them. It is James Gunn. Shithead though he is sometimes, he's capable of making entertaining films. So we'll see. But like I said, it won't be these Guardians. And when I think of Guardians of the Galaxy, even though, like I said, I'm not a purist about them or anything, it's just my default is this. Even with those movies that I like, I just think of them. I like these guys. And they did show versions of them in the second movie, and Stallone's in the third one, I think. So who knows? We're going to see some version of Starhawk. Stallone is Starhawk, and was it Ving Rhames or whatever was Ving Rhames was Charlie 27. I don't know if was there a Vance Astro somewhere hidden. There was a Martin X. So we'll see. Like I said, I will let myself be cautiously optimistic. There's a chance it could be good. If not, I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over it. It's going to be. I hear it's a 2.5 hour runtime. I don't know if that's true. That's what I hear. So yeah, but it'll have to be. That'll do, I guess. And I just hope it's not a downer. Michael Rosenberg was Martin X. Okay, wow. Thank you, Fanty. Oh yeah, they did that in the comics as an attack on Chris Pratt. Now I remember. It's true, yeah. No Vance Astro. Okay, maybe he'll pop up in this one, Fanny. They got Cosmo again, the doggy. Maybe Howard the Duck will pop up. I think there's a Howard the Duck toy out there because of the movie. Did I hear? So I heard that somewhere. Did anyone hear that? Am I imagining things? You know me with my garbage memory. Did I hear that from somewhere? Or am I imagining it? But if there is, I have a Howard the Duck that came with a Silver Surfer toy from years ago. But there's a Howard the Duck toy. I want it. Agreed, Matthew Pounder. The original team was the best. The Guardians of the Galaxy. I think this might be the first comic I ever got with the Guardians of the Galaxy right here. Marvel 2-in-1, number 5. I think they were in the issue before it, maybe. Oh, yeah, they'll probably mess it up, Hungry Boy. Yeah, I mean, look, no, yeah. No, okay. Is Howard the Duck worth a watch? Well, that's an interesting conversation. It takes a while. DVB, I'll put it to you like this. I wouldn't tell you to go out and hunt it down or spend a lot of money on it or anything like that. When I saw it in the theater in 1986, I don't know if I ever sat through all of it again. Maybe I did later on cable or something. It is worth a look at. And if you think about it, it was batshite crazy to make that movie the way they did. It's silly. It's bad in a fun way. Some people consider it just to be horrible. Others consider it to be fun to watch. It's, Hungry Boy makes a point. Read the old Gerber comics, for sure. But Lucas really, I don't know what he was thinking making that thing. But I have one friend of mine that loves it. I know 2 or 3 friends that just love that movie, warts and all. And anything, if you can sit through it, may not be good, but can be worth the watch if you know where I'm coming from. If you take my meaning. But yeah, this movie could be okay. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I won't lose a lot of sleep if it's not good. I mean, I just don't. Hey, Dave G. Salem, good to see you. All I ask is that don't be wokey. Be fun like the other movies. Don't get too heavy. Don't get too dark. Don't kill anybody. And they probably, you know what? They kill too many people in these movies. Now they probably will. They're probably going to make Peter look like even more of an idiot the way they treated him in Endgame. Remember what they did to him in Endgame? They kicked him right in the, for no reason. So this movie will probably dump all over the guys. I mean, Gunn's out of there now. Oh, Oliver, was there a preview? There's a lot of spoilers to get out there. He said Marvel and DC must stop having premieres of their superhero films and second and final trailers. They should have simultaneous global release. That way there will be no spoiler reviews. I think they took the embargoes off of the Guardians reviews, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, yeah, so look, I don't know. Because here's what I'm kind of not so much looking forward to it, maybe a little bit. From around 2008 to 2019, not all the movies were great, mind you, but it was kind of fun. That run there, it was kind of fun looking forward to the next couple of Marvel movies. Remember when that was fun? I mean, maybe none of you were into them like I was. And I'm very picky about my superhero movies, but still, when you could just make them kind of fun, when it was fun to look forward to them, I mean, they weren't all great. And I got them ranked, but You knew when we had one coming out, it was a chance it might be okay. So it was kind of those times. I guess that you can't. Nothing lasts forever. But you had a decade. You had a decade there where it was kind of fun. You know what I mean? It was kind of. Oh, they got the next Avengers movie's coming out next year. The new Cap movie's coming out. They got another Thor coming out. I mean, again, like I said, they don't always start out great, but at least you had something. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. I'm relatively excited about that. That's kind of cool. And then it turned into like, really another one. Well, what's the next one? Let me have it. What else you got? Hey, Jay Picasso, what's up, dude? So what's next? And so you'll see coming next, and you'll go, "Oh, really? Wait a minute. What? Who's that? Why?" Hey, Eric K, what's up, dude? Bronze Wrencher. Could not be reached. It was palpable. I mean, again, I'm guilty. I looked forward to the to the new movies, to the new Marvel movies. And Endgame should have been the end. I mean, look, I watched it again the other day, and it pisses me off. That movie has so many great scenes and so many bad scenes. It's the best and worst movie ever made. I'm kidding. It's not the best movie ever made by far. But I mean, it's one of the most frustrating movies with so much good and so much bad in it. They're equally, like, almost cancel each other out or almost explode the universe. It's got so many annoying, frustrating things in it, and quite a few nice things in it as well. Although when you think about it, the nice things are a bit superficial. Still nice. Alejandro said a little while back, he said, let's see, he's hot take. I gave up on the MCU after the first Ant-Man and only went to see Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because my dad didn't want to see Alien Covenant. Well, I can't blame him for not wanting to see that. I can't blame him for there. Yes, there's agenda garbage in Endgame. But there's also just a bunch of crap. Captain America's not a quitter. When I watched it the other day, because it was one of the movies that the Guardians are in, I turned it off right before I had to look at old Captain America. I'm like, no. Bad enough they killed Tony Stark. You make Captain America a quitter. I fundamentally disagree with what they did to Captain America in that movie. And we know why they did it. And it sucks. So anyway, but I won't go into why. And and then again, like I said, I watched their appearance in Love and Blunder. So since we're on it is the eve of another Marvel I don't know. Will this be an MCU movie or will it be an MCU movie? That's what I think. That's the big question right now. Will it be, because it can be very entertaining and still be annoying. Gunn's talented and he's got a handle on these characters and he can make the movie entertaining. I'm not worried about it being entertaining. I'm really not. It might not be entertaining, I'm going to say, but it's got a good chance of being fun to watch with cool stuff in it. And it is a long running time. And he knows that people love these characters. How much agenda garbage will be in there is the question. Will this be? And here's the question. I'm not going to poll the question. What I mean is, the mystery that needs solving is, will this be an MCU movie or an MCU movie? Apollome's Minion. What's up, Apollome? Hope you're doing well, my dear. And of course, hello to the pepperoni. So there's I'm not polling it. I'm just saying. Oh, let's see. We got 26 votes now. Still 88% says no. No, not going to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Wow. Okay. I got you. Agreed, Fanty. It was a mess, man. It's awful what they did to Steve Rogers. It was really stupid what they did to Tony Stark. Betty stupid. Stupid. Admiral T, what is up, sir? How you doing, man? Still fighting that good fight against fake Trek? I hope you are, man. I hope we always will. Fight the fake Trek, I say. So, if he keeps the agenda down there, keeps the agenda crap out of it, just makes it fun like the other Guardians movies, it might be okay. But there's the question. It has a chance. I think this might be the last MCU movie unless Gunn allowed them to make him go out like a punk. Fanty, I hear you, and I think you, like I said, that's the question. Will this be MCU? Will it be MCU? And that's going to be my biggest review. My first thing is going to be this. Obviously, we want it to be entertaining. That's a good question. Could not be first. I would say that the special was MCU. If there was anything woke-ish in there, it was minuscule. It was just about Christmas and about being funny. In my opinion, that special was the MCU. The only other thing they did, that Werewolf by Night, got closest to being MCU, but it still had some MCU traits. So there are going to be some MCU sprinklings in the holiday, in the Guardians holiday special. I guess there's some sprinklings here and there, tiny stuff. But I'm going to go ahead. Hey, Brian Hepburn, good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. Excuse me. I'm going to say, could not be reached for further comment. I'm going to say that the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special was an MCU movie. I think, in my opinion, it skirted from being, it skirted expectations, if you will, because I expected it to be more, girl power and all that stuff. There may be a scene or two that's not perfect, but I think that I would get to call that an MCU movie, because it just became about, celebrating Christmas and having fun. So, yeah. Yep, I'm going to go with that. Good question. I'm glad you asked that question. And that's the question that we got before us. Tomorrow, I will find out. Is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 an MCU movie production? Or will it be just another in the short but sad, tragic line of MCU disasters? And I mean disaster, if it's MCU, it's automatically a disaster. And those movies don't make much money. So I will wait in just a little bit. I'll do my ranking. Excuse me. But this is a pretty interesting poll. How many votes we have now? 28 votes. 89% of my good friends in my chat, 89% with 28 votes in, 89% says they will not be going to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at the movie cinema. Again, it's not a question of whether you're going to watch it or not. You're just not going to go out of your way to watch it. I think that could be, again, I'm not going to speculate. That could be what we're looking at here. It's clobbering time. Captain America. I just love this cover. Sal Buscema. I mean, you got Benji, you got the Guardians, you got Cap. I mean, what's not to love about that cover? What? To borrow from Mike Myers. If it's not MCU, it's crap. Or if it's MCU, it's also crap. It's a fair but society has to blame. I agree. We'll be tossing him too. Yeah. Yep. So, anyway, this is just, I can look at that cover all day. It's got Ben Grimm, it's got Captain America, and it's got Charlie 27, Vance Astro, and Martin X, and Yondu. You know, that's always been one of my favorite, simple but favorite covers of Marvel 2-in-1, of course. I like it. Hey, that wins the internet right there. Could I be reaching for the comment? If it ain't woke, don't fix it. That's fabulous. Well done. Very done indeed. And as Mark D likes to say, I'll get popcorn. I'll play the popcorn card. Well, at least they got some popcorn. And he might be going to see it tomorrow too. I don't know. I might be going to see it by myself. Polly's Minion said, I haven't gone to the movie since Star Wars The Last Jedi. Ugh. Well, the Return of the Jedi is at the theaters right now. Polly, you should go and cleanse yourself of the filth that is the Last Jedi. And you can at least watch that. Oh, my God. I just saw something I don't want to see. Look at this. All right. This is going to be a problem. If Warlock looks like dog crap. Folks, I'm not saying the movie looks bad. I promise you. I'm not. But Jesus, yeah, and his origin's screwed over, by the way. Well, I mean, High Evolutionary is in this, but he's not. I mean, it's partly in the origin, but. Right. It's the special edition. Oh yeah, I know. I'm sad that it's the special edition DVD, but I can live. I mean, I have to live with it. To me, the one they asked up the most with the special editions, and especially the re special edition crap, was Empire. Even though it was the one they fiddled with the least, they really pissed me off with that. Warlock looks like man, oh man. Well, they teased Warlock at the end of Guardians 2, which means obviously, even though they do have the high evolutionary is in this movie, so that'll involve Warlock closer to his origin, but no Earth. Instead, he was created by these, or maybe they're gonna say he was on Earth. I don't know, but he's not. He's not on Earth. There, it doesn't look like. He didn't look like Warlock at all. I mean, why is it? Jesus Christ! Why is it cosplayers can do this better? Why? Don't answer that. We all know why, because they love the stuff. Is that a love? I've seen, if I'm not mistaken, it's not all the time. I've seen Warlock cosplayers. Up until a number of years ago, I used to go to Dragon Con every year. One of the biggest cosplay cons in the friggin' world. And I'm pretty sure I've seen Warlock there a couple of times. Adam Warlock. And the cosplayers could get it right. But these jackasses at Disney with all that money can't. All right, let's not even use the word can't. That's giving them an excuse. They won't. Because they're jerk-offs. Why? Why do you look at this character who looks so cool? Gamerboy 1124. Adam Warlock. Why, oh, why would you do that? What is wrong with you people? And that. So the High Evolutionary, is he going to be the bad guy? I wonder if they're going to call him that. I know. I'm going to see it tomorrow. I may as well behave. God, I can't stand that look. I can't stand that guy as Warlock. That's going to make me sick. The movie might still be good, and I'm going to get just as sick. Oh, look at him. What in the hell? And I already hate the idea because remember at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, they showed that sovereign, whatever, bunch of golden people were obviously making that cocoon look similar to the Jack Kirby cocoon that he was originally conceived of in FF number, what was it, 65 or 66 or 50? I can't remember the exact issue number. Someone will know it. But anyway, I just went back and reread those recently, just last week, and I can't remember the damn title, issue numbers. I'm stuck at issue numbers. So, but it looks like that, but not to be. He wasn't created on Earth now by idiot scientists. He was created by a bunch of aliens. On the sovereign whatever, and I guess all these years, which has been a while, I don't know what he's been doing, but he. Oh God, does he have it? What is that thing on his forehead? I know he can't be the Soul Gem because they already messed with the damn Infinity Stones. So what the? Oh my God. Who wrote this crap? Who wrote it? Who wrote it? I don't know. But like I said, you can't even make him look good. Why in the? Why, man? What is this? Get out of here. Let me find some real freaking Adam Warlock by Starlin. If you just put Adam Warlock, oh my God, you're gonna get all this. You better put the word Starlin, you're not gonna get enough Starlin. There, you got to put Starlin. There you go. Right there. Or if you want the one with the cape, yeah, the cape. Go with the cape. Right there. I've seen cosplayers do this. I've seen them. What is it? Why? Jesus Christ, all the money you spent on these movies. Holy shit. I know you already screwed the origin up of the character. I mean, because it looks like oh my God, I just thought about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to give the movie every chance. I'm probably just not going to like what they do with Warlock. I get that. But now they're going to take all of his motivation from the start, from the comic, throw it in the gutter. And now, you know what? He's going to be, he just exists to go get revenge on the Guardians of the Galaxy. Look at that, man. How about doing that? Stupid Disney. How hard would that be? Instead of that Man of Steel looking costume you got, that rubber ass, oh, it just looks like dog shit. Such a bunch of crap. Why, man? They're already screwing with his origin. And it looks like they're going to, again, if he's just going to be there to attack, I mean, he'll probably be good at the end or whatever. But if he's just there to attack the Guardians, I'm like, well, I don't know. Of course, you already had Infinity. I mean, you already did Infinity War and all that stuff without Adam Warlock, so it just shows how stupid they are. All right, DVB. Yeah, I hope it's good too. Thank you for being here, buddy. Appreciate it. You know, to be fair, they've already you may as well backtrack because they after Guardians 2, when I don't know what happened. But at the end of Guardians 2, they teased that there was going to be Adam Warlock. And then you had other movies that came out. You could have slipped in there some way. You could have showed him again. And then he could have had something to do with Infinity War. Because he's supposed to. I know. He was comics already. I mean, they already changed stuff in the comics anyway, which I hate. I got to tell you that I love Infinity War as a movie, and even Endgame in some ways. But what they did to Thanos, quite frankly, every time I watch it, I still let myself enjoy the movie. I don't like his stupid motivation. I'm never going to like the stupid motivation in the movie. I like it in the comics. Sue me. Freaking dumb nowhere shite. Oh, God. I mean, what? But you could. Thanos was right. 70s. Oh, shit. So, holy crap, man. You may. I don't know, were they sitting, and I like the Russo brothers, but were they sitting around going, yeah, we're going to do the Infinity, well, they called it Infinity War, which wasn't even the first damn series. First was Infinity Gauntlet. I guess they were kind of doing that sort of, I don't know. I just don't know how you do any of that. Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity Watch, any of it without Warlock. It's just but then again, I guess he would have taken the center stage, and we can't do that. Should have made a Warlock movie. Graham, hey there. Team Thanos. You like Team Thanos, eh? 70s. What's wrong with you, dude? Yeah, they used the bridge version of the story because they didn't introduce a whole ton of characters before Thanos went to him. But I tell you what, I understand that. But that stupid 5-year gap garbage. I mean, let's just say they didn't ruin. Let's say if they hadn't ruined the MCU with the MCU shit, they ruined it with the 5-year gap. If you want to just, let's say if they hadn't done that, the 5-year gap still ruins things as well. It's almost as horrible as the woke drivel that ruined, the MCU. It's the 5-year gap is one of the most asinine piece of shite ideas I've ever seen to come out in Hollywood. It is that moronic. It is a story killer. You killed the whole. You created this universe, quote unquote. You didn't create shit. You stood on the backs and sucked the blood out of great creators like Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and a lot of other people. But in the movies, you took all these characters and these IPs and constructed a cohesive universe that was, it's not like intricate like comic books, but you don't make as many movies. So it's kind of, you constructed a universe that flowed together fairly well, all things considered. Not like a comic book can. And then you destroyed it. You took it in one hand, and everybody was the envy. You had people trying to make their own universe, like stupid. What was it? What's that idiot? Alex Klutzman was trying to make one with the monsters. They were trying to do one with the Godzilla. The Kong franchise. In other words, other people you were the envy of everybody. DC had screwed theirs up. They couldn't get theirs. They couldn't get out of their own way. You had one for 10 years, Marvel. And you could have had one for 10 more years. And you shit all over it. And I'm not talking about just with the woke bullshit and making bad decisions, giving characters who didn't need their own movies. That's, of course, that's a killer as well. And that's the more important thing socially. But if you just put that aside for a second, you also killed it with your stupid ass 5-year gap. Your 5-year blip thing is the most moronic shit I've ever seen in anything ever. I mean, leaving aside all the woke crap, I'm just talking about as far as writing and creating goes. The way it was resolved in the first comic, the first miniseries, Infinity Gauntlet, would have been perfect. The way they resolved it in that was absolutely brilliant. Because you should have let Jim Starlin write your goddamn movies. Because whoever signed off, I don't know if it was Feige, I guess it was, he's the boss. So let's blame him. He's the head coach, right? Pat S., good to see you, buddy. Well, it's good to see you, man. Feige's the coach. So I'm going to blame him. I mean, obviously, Russo brothers, I don't know if they were gung-ho for the stupid 5-year gap. I don't know who was or who wasn't. I have no idea if they thought, no, maybe we shouldn't do that, boss. Somebody came up with it, and then somebody else allowed it to happen. Well, there's only one dude that allowed it to happen, and that's Feige. So you, sir, are a pinhead. The 5-year blip glap, it almost, every time I see it, when I watch one of the ones that come, not just because of the woke shit, which I hate, it's almost intolerable. Listen, again, like I said, even if they weren't doing all the woke trash, I would still have trouble watching anything after the 5-year blip. It's that stupid. And in Endgame, they had the perfect opportunity to fix it and go back to 5 years. You could have easily used the gauntlet to go back 5 years and wipe it out of everybody's mind, and nobody remembers it, and set everything back. A la Richard Donner, who unfortunately did it in a ham-fisted way in the Donner cut, which I have a lot of problems with. But he wasn't, the way he did it, yeah, and I love the Donner cut, don't get me wrong, but it had a really weird ending where he wiped out his first 2 movies. But he didn't have the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay? Kevin Feige had the Infinity Gauntlet and still screwed it up. Think about that for a second. Kevin Feige had control over reality itself. Reality and time and power and mind and soul and all that crap. And he still screwed it up. You, Kevin Feige face. The 5-year gap. You got a 5-year gap inside your stupid skull. You're a goddamn idiot. Well, 70s, the Donner cut, I don't know if you're asking whether you should watch it. You should definitely see it. I love a lot of things about the Donner cut, but if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you. I have some problems with the way he ended it, but I still love it. I'm glad that he got a chance to do it. So I'm not anti-Donner cut, but I have to be honest because I love Richard Donner, and I hate the Lester cut. So I hate the Lester cut. But even it didn't end the same way. So it's interesting. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I would watch it if I were you. It's interesting to watch. It's just the ending is mind-boggling. But Kevin Feige had a chance to fix it. Again, they didn't have any kind of plot device like that in Superman in the Donner movies, but here you had control over all of reality. Could not be reached for further comments. As I recall, the Russos saying they had no firm plans for Endgame at the time of making and releasing Infinity War. Wow. They're very different movies. I mean, like I said, Endgame has it's the most frustrating movie I've ever seen in my life because it has some wonderful, amazing just scenes that are so much get into your heart. They're so manipulative in a good way where they just make you feel so good. You see so many great, wonderful things in there because you've been spending over a decade with these characters, and then put things in there that just maybe you want to rip the friggin' head off of somebody. I mean, it's just horrible. Someone asked me to go to a Donner party, in that is that the same as the Donner cut? Well, I'm glad you got a Donner funny joke in there. Eric K, thank you for that, buddy. I appreciate you. You're too kind, man. No, it's not too soon. I think the Donner Party would laugh at that, or at least Richard Donner would. So thank you, buddy. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, boy. I'll tell you what. No fighting in the war room. Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Yeah. Let's leave the most important character out of the Thanos story. Sure. Sure, guys. Kevin Feige. If anyone ever needed to know that, because people always say what a genius he was because those movies made a lot of money. I'm sorry. Those movies got most of their popularity before it came into power. He's sort of like that. He's Barry Switzer. I mean, he inherited Jimmy Johnson's team and won a Super Bowl because they were so good. He didn't put any of them there. Sorry for the sports ball reference. It won't happen again. So, I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy. Man, I wish I had looked at those pictures earlier because I forgot about Warlock. And I'm going, man, they're going to really wrangle my fellas with Warlock. They're going to piss me off with what they do with Warlock, I bet you. But the popcorn better be good. I hope the popcorn's good. The Wu Kang clan's agenda. What? But ultimately, it's all according to the Wu Kang clan's agenda. I don't know who that is. But I'm old. It figures that I wouldn't know who that is. I could not be reached for that comment. Yeah. So anyway, who knows, man? Who knows if this movie's going to be any good or not? I hope it is. Oh, we'll just have a lot of fun with it. And maybe I'll just ignore some of the icky bits like Warlock. Let's try, Let's try to ignore them. But Clobby, they'll probably make it up to you with a musical number by Star Fox here. Oh, I forgot about him. He's probably going to be in it, isn't he? There could be a lot of characters in this thing. 2.5 hours? There are going to be a lot of characters in this sucker. I'm betting. Maybe not. Excuse me. Maybe not. Kang from the Loki TV show, or He Who Remains. Apparently, it was all him. Oh, okay. Gotcha, sir. Gotcha. Okay, well, okay. Did this play already over there in the UK then, Chris? Because Chris Persia says that the lovely starry-eyed girl, who is a very lovely young lady, very nice person, very a sweetheart, and well known to many of us in our community here, he says, starry-eyed girl said it was good as a popcorn flick. Well, popcorn's good, so not as good as the first, and felt more like a continuation of Volume 2. Okay. Oh man, I hope Pip the Troll isn't in it. I like Pip the Troll, and we don't need him in this. They're probably going to put him in it. It's going to have the stupid ass Patton Oswalt as Pip the Troll. Oh no. Maybe not. Maybe not, but oh boy. So that, like you said, Chris, it is already playing over there. They got it before us. Well, dang it. Go away. Oh, my goodness. Well, hey, nothing to do. At least we're getting it tomorrow. Maybe Stallone will have a big part as Starhawk. Could not be reached for further comment. I'm going to do a review. I probably, if I get home in time, I don't. If Mark D with the C wants to do one, either we'll do it if he's going to do one before we go on the clubhouse tomorrow night. I might talk about it a little bit on the clubhouse tomorrow night. If he does one on this channel, sometimes he does a review when he gets home in time. And if I don't do one, if we don't do one together at that point, we'll both talk about the movie on the clubhouse a little bit because I think he's going to see it tomorrow. And if not, for sure, on the Geekery on Sunday Night Geekery could not be reached for comment. So a review, I wouldn't say I'm going to be doing an actual review where I make a video or say here we're going to have a stream where I just review it. I don't know if I'll be doing that, but I will talk about it. I will do something like a review. I'll talk about it a little bit. Original Pip the Troll was a cool guy. Always seemed like he played poker with a thing and go drinking with thing. Wolverine, yeah. Pat Roll is just a troll and a moron. That's exactly right. Yes. Ugh, God, why? Why, oh, why? Yeah, I love Pip. I remember they put Pip on that Silver Surfer cartoon in a couple of episodes. Well, thank you. Could not be. I'm like I say, I think J-Man's reviewing it too. Is J-Man reviewing it? J-Man and the boys are going to see it tomorrow, I think. And I don't know when they're going to do their review. If I'm able to watch their review, I'm looking forward to whenever they review it. So I don't know exactly what his plan is on that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Matthew Pounder. Remember when all those Marvel Presents were in the secondhand boxes? We used to have the quarter bins. Hey, Claude selling. Remember the quarter bins? And now they're the dollar bins, really. But I mean, dollar bins, still got plenty of dollar bins, but there was a time in the 80s and even into the 90s where at cons and comic shops and stuff, there were like rows and rows and rows of your quarter boxes. I remember at Atlanta Fantasy Fair in 1990, Jack and Roz Kirby were behind Mike Thibodeau's table. Mike Thibodeau, who did a comic called Last of the Viking Heroes for Pure Imagination, I think he did it for. And I was going back and forth talking to them all day and talking to Roz and stuff. And I went over to a quarter bin table now. This is 1990 in Atlanta. And I found a bunch of Kirby Jimmy Olsens. And I think I'd already had them, but I wanted to get another set. And I think I got some Machine Man. And the point is, I got a lot of stuff, including a bunch of Kirby stuff. And I just walked back over there and see, again, they're behind the table at a dealer's room, mind you. And it wasn't like today where they sit there and you got to go buy something. They weren't selling anything, except later in the hotel lobby when they sold me some original art. So I walk up to Ross Kirby just conversationally, and I said, "Look at these! I got these in the quarter box. I got some comics that Jack did. Some I love his Jimmy Olsen, and he's over. Jack Kirby's over there talking to people." And I said, she goes to take them out of my hand. She says, "Well, Jack's not signing anything at this con, so because of his harm. But if I'll take these upstairs to the room and I'll get him to sign them for you." and we'll get them back to you. And I was just flabbergasted, and I couldn't let her do it, of course, because I said, "Oh no, I have his autograph already. I would love that more than anything." But I know his hand is not, his arm's not feeling well. It's just getting to meet you is enough. But I really appreciated it. Boy, that was just incredible. Donnie Pearson, what is up, my friend? Good to see you. Donnie Pearson says, Pop Culture Breakdown Raid. Hello again, Mike. Hey, hello to you. Hope everyone is well on this night before Star Wars Day, despite the passing of Canadian music legend Gordon Lightfoot. Oh, man, yeah. Wow, I didn't hear about that. I myself shall wait till Guardians 3 streams on Disney Plus. Regardless of how good or bad it would perform on the big screen, says Donnie. Okay. Well, I'll be seeing it tomorrow. I hear you. Yeah, about that Star Wars. I hate May the 4th. Oh, man, that's going to be tomorrow night on the Clubhouse. I'll probably forget because I don't have anything to write it down right now. Chris Persia, if you have a better memory than me, remind me to sound off about that. I cannot stand May the 4th. It pisses me off. Makes me sick. It's not Star Wars Day to me. May the 4th is a stupid pun that they named Star Wars Day after because of a pun. Oh, I hate it. So, Zachariah, what's up, buddy? Now, it should have been like May the 25th or something like that if you were going to have one. But really? Exactly. Should be the 25th. You're going to have one. And yeah, I know I've yelled about it before, but I hate that May the 4th garbage. Thank you, Chris. I'm sure I'll forget, but yeah, the 25th will be with you always. Indeed. It just sucks. Because remember, it's based on the unfunny freaking pun. It's bad pun. I'm sure the first time someone pointed out, hey, May the 4th, I'm sure you got a little chuckle. I'm sure you're like, oh, I get it. Yeah. Cute. It's cute. Okay. I grant you. The first 2-3 times someone does it, you might go, that's cute. Okay. It's no harm done. No one's hurt. But Jesus Christ. You turn it, if you're going to have, I don't even know why there needs to be fans love Star Wars enough, but if there's going to be a National Star Wars Day, fine. It was once a pop culture phenomenon before Disney turned it into trash. But for the love of God, the most important date in Star Wars history is May 25th, 1977. Oh, God. Yeah, good. Fanny says, Clobberin, May the 4th is a delineation point between fans and wannabes. It does kind of seem that way, but I know people who say, "Oh, lighten up," and they have. They said, "Lighten up. We need. It's great that we love Star Wars so much. We're glad that people accept this as a silly joke, so that we can have a day to celebrate Star Wars." But it's still based on a stupid pun that I can't. It makes me sick. Like I said, if they did it on the 25th, not only would I have no problem with it, in spite of all the bad things that's happened since 2015. Some would say 1999, but that's up in the air. I would still, I'd be fine, and I would be like, okay, cool, happy Star Wars Day, and I wouldn't have to say the dumb pun May the 4th. Be with you. May the 4th for normies, like St. Patrick's Day is for amateur. I'm not gonna say the word. Alcoholics. Wow, dude. That's some harshness there, JT Kirk. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I don't know. What you gonna do? That's crazy. So yeah, it just I know I should get all that worked up about it. But like you said, Chris, but we already had a day to celebrate Star Wars, the anniversary of its original release, right? Yeah. Celebrating it early is like saying let's celebrate your birthday 3 weeks early instead of on the actual day. Yes, and all because of a stupid, unfunny pun. That was, I mean, let's face it, it's not that funny. Does anyone really think it's that funny? Seriously. Zathras, what is up, dude? I celebrate Star Wars by taking a dump and thinking about Kathleen Kennedy. Well, that'll do it. Of course, Babylon 5 is better. That's what I was expecting you to say, and it is. Venom Outsider, May the 4th is for the wannabes. 25th is for real fans, and Mr. Burns said, "Let the fools have their tartar sauce." Lol. Donnie says the coronation will air across the networks and platforms of Comcast, NBC Universal, Paramount Global, and Walt Disney Company, Fox Corporation. What coronation is that? D.D. Myers. Hey, D.D. Myers. What is up? It's been a dog's age, my friend. Dork Knight. Hey. Good to see you, Dork Knight. I hope you're doing well, buddy. And DD, it's good to see you, bud. Oh, but also, is it Free Comic Book Day this week? This weekend? That's another thing that's gotten out of hand. But they do have some cool stuff sometimes. Blue Harvest. Hey, Dave Rayborn, what's up, cousin? Good to see you, buddy. We're just talking about all kind of stuff. Talking about a little Guardians of the Galaxy. Going to go see that tomorrow. And I was just showing everybody what the original, real deal Guardians look like earlier. We're just doing different stuff here. Just going all over the place. We're talking a little Star Wars there for a bit. Well, a little. But yeah, and let's see how the poll's doing. I have not checked the poll for a while. Now we have 42 votes in. And wow. Now it's changed a little bit. I'm shocked at this. The question, of course, was, are you going to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at the theater? And 81% of you says nope. And 19% says yes. I don't get the vote because I'm going tomorrow. But I don't get the vote. Oh yeah, hey, Dork Night, yeah, Free Comic Book Day is depending on where you go. There's always some fun. In fact, no one even thinks about the free comics because those are usually pretty chintzy, but they have some nice events. I guess I don't know where you live exactly, but depends on where you go. But comic shops do have some fun with it. DD, Clubby, great to see you. Sorry I haven't been around much. Life keeps getting in the way. Oh no, hey, nothing to apologize for, my friend. I'm just glad to see you. I hope you and your wife are doing well. Las Vegas. Did you go to the big meetup this past week? It looked like a fun time with all the YouTubers, Gary and the gang out there. I say we mix May the 4th with Funky's B-Day, Cloud. Well, Funky's B-Day is in December, buddy. You went? Cool, man. Cool. One of these days I'd like to go to it. Well, DD, good to hear, man. Good. I'm glad to hear that, buddy. Zathras, where you go? Where you go, Gathras? Zathras, go. Back to work. Well, Zathras out. Good to see you, brother. We love Zathras around here. So, I guess I should ask, since I don't know who voted what, and yes, Oliver Belamonte, I did see this. Jim Lee has been given a big promotion. He's chief creative officer at DC and president of DC. I don't think anything's going to change. I'm surprised. I thought he would be out of there by now. Not that he couldn't do a good job. I mean, in a normal climate, I just don't think it's. I don't know. DC and Marvel are just so dead right now. I mean, uh, they didn't listen to Jim Lee last time he was running things. December. Yeah, don't. Yeah, sorry, Hungry Boy. Yeah, we don't want to do that to December. So yeah, Jim Lee, good for him. I don't think he's going to do anything. He never did anything before when he had power at DC. Can't imagine he'll do much this time. Yeah. So what are you going to do? So that's interesting that so many people are not going to. I mean, look, this is just anecdotal. I know it's only 44 votes, 80-20 now. Went down, keeps going down. Because like I said, I'm going tomorrow, so I would vote yes if I got a vote. Flames, man, flames coming out of this dude's mouth. Are there? Whoa. Yeah. Well, I don't know. But I'm actually a little surprised by that. I thought more of you would probably be going. But I understand. But I hope we get to see oh, you got to go see it Dork Night? Yeah, well, I understand. My kids are your age, so I don't have to, and they won't go with me to see it. I got to go by myself. Well, I'm going with a buddy, but Now Jim Lee, yeah, look, Jim Lee and I, a weird fun fact: we're born on the exact same day. I don't know what that means. We're the exact same age. I mean, we can't be any more exact same age. We're born now. I don't know if he was born before me or I him, but yeah, I don't know that. I don't know the time of his birth. Hell, I don't know the time of my birth. Come to think of it. So, but yeah. So Jim Lee and I are born on the same damn day. I met him. He's a nice enough fellow. Never was a big fan of his art, actually. To be honest, I was never the big. I mean, and look, a lot of people love his stuff, so it's fine. Never was really my bag, really. Oh, I got you, DD. So you're not going to be going to see it, but I hear you. So, but he's a nice enough guy. He didn't really do much before, though. I mean, he's not. I mean, if you look at him, he's a quiet, kind of laid back kind of guy. He's not going to wield a cosmic axe at DC. It's not. I don't even know what can be done at this point, anyway. But it doesn't matter. They don't care what I buy. So rightly so. I just never liked his style that much, Dork Knight. A lot of people do. Like I said, he's got a bunch of fans. Yeah. Again, no, I was not a fan of any of those guys, but again, it's sometimes it's the era you grew up in. I like the older artists, but yeah. So that's just me. I can acknowledge definitely the worth and the value of people who are very popular like that, and they do. So, you know, I hear you, man. And you're not alone. In fact, not even close to alone. A lot of people love those artists. Never. I mean, and by the way, all those artists you mentioned were very good to Jack Kirby. They helped him out a lot and stuff. And so I always appreciate Jim Lee and even McFarlane and even Larson, who I think is a total tool as a person. They did help Jack with some things. Oliver Belamonte says, I feel like with Marvel and DC adding an MCU and DCU in their comics, it's like dynamite that explodes in our face. Both comic book companies are like Wile E. Coyote, lighting up TNT. Wow. That's a good point there. Owes a lot to Barry Windsor Smith. Well, a lot of people owe a lot to Barry Windsor Smith, yeah. Jim Lee was better than Allred. Yeah, but our buddy, a Hungry Boy, does not like Mike Allred as an artist. Dark Knight, there's some truth to that. I mean, although I've met people who like a lot of people that are my age that like those other artists that you're talking about. I mean, yeah, so an outlaw, and yet I've also met people way younger than me than they will talk about some of the greats that I love and with the same affection I do, and that always makes me happy because appreciation for the greats, you know. But it's not always confined to age. But maybe with a broad brush, it could be seen that way. It could seem that way for sure. But like I said, I've been surprised by people of all age ranges, in all walks of life, not just comic artists, of course, and all types of opinions. Because I used to be there. I used to like say, well, no one that young is going to even know this exists. Wow, not only do they know that it exists, they love it as much as I do. That's weird. And then vice versa. You know, someone my age probably really likes this. Nah, they like this newer stuff. So I'm not good at predicting either one of those things these days. DC and Marvel have definitely hired from Acme School of Comic Book Writing. Yeah. Especially that new. As you know, I barely read anything new anymore, but I did read because my buddy J-Man reviewed that new Shazam comic by Mark Waid. Now, Mark Waid is a bag of garbage. Garbaggio. I also read that new Clobberin Time comic that came out the past because it's called Clobberin Time. And the things in it, you knew I was going to read it. Now, I didn't buy them yet. I didn't buy either one of these. I did read them. Arg, sort of. But the new Shazam book, J-Man, I agree with a lot of some things he said about it. Mark Waid, nut job though he is, does know how to write these characters the classic way. He's a good writer. He's a nut, and he's a lot of bad things, to be honest, which I won't defame any character here, but he won't, I don't know. I just don't, there's so much baggage in it that it's not because it's just because it's Wade. There's so much baggage in it that I couldn't really get into. I can see why, but I would say this: I hate doing this. I hate equivocating. But if you're not as hung up as I am on the character of Captain Marvel, the real deal Captain Marvel's not. I hate what they call him Shazam. They've got over that. There's some, but there's just too much Screw 52 in this for me. The art I found to be borderline. I could put up with it, but I'm not. It is very modern-y, but you're trying to be kind of throwbackish. I'd be interested what you would say about the art, Hungry Boy. And you know, let's see. But I didn't hate the art, didn't like it much. Dark Knight says, yeah, I'm speaking in broad terms, just especially when with as many conventions and events I go to out here in Vegas. I've met a ton of people, and I've got a pretty good track record guessing ages. There you go. I've never been that good at guessing ages myself. Not well, no, I can't. Yeah, I've never been really that. I'm going to stick with that one. I'm not that good at it. Yeah, the Clobberin Time book itself, holy shit. I don't like that guy's art much, and the stories are kind of bland. I've read the first 2 issues. This new Shazam book, like I said, Wade does a lot of fun stuff in there, in this new one, but he's never going to be allowed to call him Captain Marvel, so they just started calling him the Captain, which is better than what they were calling him in those 2 stupid Shazam movies. And I wanted to like it. It was, again, I'm going to read the next issue. It was, I guess that's when the first issue comes out, it's always very first issue-y, you know. So if no matter what happens, if you decide, well, I'm going to go ahead and give the second one a chance, it did its job. First issue is it's a hook for the second issue only. Now two needs to get you ready to go farther, not just 3 and 4. By the end of 2, if you're just barely hanging on, you decide to give 3 one more, because you should give most series about 3 or 4 issues. But if you check out by 2, all right, Maddie's daddy, good to see you there, buddy. Thank you. Have a good one, man. If issue 2 or 3 doesn't really drag you to forward that much, you could probably just cut out. I don't even know why I'm going to look at 2, but I'm going to do it because J-Man's reviewing it on his channel. He's doing some video. He did a video. If anyone can put J-Man's link is in my description below. I don't have a link to that video he did today, but anyway, it's on his channel. He does a short video review of it. He was reviewing the Clobberin Time comic as well. I don't read new comics. I can't stand them, but those 2 I'm reading. I don't know why. I just did it for no reason because, quite frankly, they were easy to get my hands on. The only other new comic I'm reading is Avengers War Across Time, and I'm up to speed on that one. There's only one more issue of that coming out. But that's because it's by, Paul Levitz and Alan Davis. So, and it's okay so far. Just to see something like that that's uncontaminated by modern crap. Because my big problems with Clobberin Time, that new comic, the new issue, number 1 and 2, and Shazam, is that they're set too much in the modern day for my taste. In their regular continuity. Hey, Ezra Goldstein. Shalom, sir. Ezra, just the man I want to see. This is, of course, Ezra's a big Doctor Who fan, as I am. And before I wrap things up here tonight, again, sorry I started late, everybody. But I was having a good time being on Doomcock's show, and it just ran longer, so I had to push the thing back half hour. So, but it was cool being off of Doomcock. That's my man. So this Ezra, I was flipping around the other night I was on Amazon, and I just got in the Doctor Who mood. That happens to me, like when I get in the Star Trek mood or this, that, and when I want, when I pull out a random Trek episode that I love, that'll put me in, cheer me up. All right, the Dark Knight later. Okay, man. Dark Knight. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you and yours are doing well, and it's good to see you, man. You have a good night. Thanks for popping in. Oh, I agree with you there, hungry boy. I'm totally with you, buddy. So I'm messing around on Amazon, Ezra. Oh, thanks, Admiral Teague. Appreciate that, buddy. And thank you, Chris Persia. There you go. There's J-Man's review. This is the new issue of Shazam, number 1. I just, out of the blue, decided I want to watch a Doctor Who episode. I want to watch a Tom Baker episode. And I'd heard about this about a year or so ago that they might be doing it, but I'd forgot about it. So I'm flipping. I'm just, I'm running through them. What do I want to watch? What do I want to watch? Uh-oh. We have an intruder. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
Well, I know you're probably ending soon, but I figured.
No, a little bit. I'm glad you popped in, man.
Pop in and say hi. Yep, I was at Grandma's house tonight.
How's
hail to the
okay?
chat. Everything's good. Yep, we got cousins in from out of town to go to a wedding, so Grandma's letting them stay at their house for free, which she loves. And then, of course, we had a bunch of cousins over and had dinner and just hanging out late. So it was not,
cool.
It's a school night.
That's good.
But,
yeah, it is a
fun.
school night.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's good then. Good to hear, man.
Yeah.
I started a half hour later because I was on with Doomcock. So
yeah, I heard. Yep. So I'm sure you had fun there, right?
It was cool.
Hanging out with Doomcock.
Always.
Yep.
Always great hanging with Doomcock and the boys. And then tonight I've just been talking about Guardians comics and stuff.
Yeah, and most people aren't. Most people don't want to. I know you're just talking about
Yeah,
Shazam, but
where we at?
the poll.
Yeah, where we at now in the poll? Let's see. 49 votes, man. 80-20. 80% aren't going. I'm going and you're going. Aren't you going?
Yeah, I got a date too. I got my wife going too.
Oh, you're waiting till Friday.
Friday, yeah, I'm gonna wait till Friday. But interesting. I asked my nephew who's over tonight. He's 15 or 16. What the heck is he? But I'm like, oh, you going to see Guardians of the Galaxy this week? And he actually reads comics. He's one that I actually got to read comics, and he still does. And he's like, nah, I don't really care. He's like, the movies are all the same now. They're all boring now.
Yeah, wow.
They haven't been good in a while. So like, you got a 6-year-old kid. I'm like, you really don't want to see Guardians? He's like,
wow.
If he bought me a ticket, but he's like, I'll just wait to watch it on.
I just watch it on
streaming.
TV. If you're not that enthused, don't go waste time at the freaking theater. I mean, unless you live like 5 minutes from it, But
it was just surprise too that.
No, I got you. I hear you.
You know that a younger kid who actually likes comics, like, oh, I'll go. I'm going to go there. We don't really.
That's great.
That really shocked me. Even and Guardians has a good reputation, so Marvel's in trouble, I think. So
they are in trouble. That's crazy time. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. So, like I say, that's 50 people almost. That's 49 votes so far.
Yeah.
I know it's anecdotal to our gang, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm going. I'm in the minority on that vote there.
Would you have gone if you weren't reviewing it, or?
Yeah, I know. I would have gone. No, I was talked about at the whole front of the show. I talked about the other night. I went back and watched the first one. I talked about my whole history. That's what I've been talking about tonight. I loved the first one. Liked the second one a lot. Infinity War. I thought they were. They had some dumb shit with them in there, but I mean, I watched that. Then
overall,
I watched Endgame.
Yeah.
I watched Endgame, and then I watched stupid Love and Blunder, just their parts with it. I can't watch the whole movie. I hate it, but I watched their little bit of it. Then I watched the special, the holiday special last night, the Christmas special, and then in preparation, and again I'm like, well, I decided, as I was saying at the outset tonight, I'm decided to let myself at least, because I don't get to do this very often, let myself at least be cautiously optimistic. Let myself at least slightly look forward to it. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a tad. I'm not saying it's going to be good. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, Ezra Goldson. I didn't forget about you. I'm going to get to my Doctor Who thing in a second. Because I'm always doing that to you. I'm sorry. Because I always talk about Doctor Who. I'm glad Mark's here for it. So anyway, I'm going to let myself cautiously optimistic look for it. But so I was telling Ezra here that this is stuff I heard about this about a year ago. Hey, Cardinal Sin.
Hey, Cardi.
What's up, buddy? Thank you for the 499 super chat. It says hello to my friend Ed, who is a comic book collector and major nerd. Ed? Okay, well, hello to Ed.
Mr. Ed, to you.
Thank you so much. And he said, I'm not going to forget about you, Ezra. So, but appreciate you, Cardi. Thank you so much for that. You're too kind, my friend. I hope you're doing well. So flip it around on Amazon. Sometimes I do that. I want something to watch. I can't decide what to watch.
Yep.
Get in the Trek mood, get a Doctor Who mood, a probe mood, and what have you. Whatever. Batman.
I thought Klingons did not like to be probed.
Yeah, well, fortunately, I'm not a Galram Klingon. So I'd like to be probed. But that's Gazimov anyway. So, I'm just looking at what I want to watch. I've been watching some Blackadders. We're going all over the place. I want to watch a Doctor Who. I think I want to watch a Tom Baker Doctor Who. I'm just going to watch one for half an hour, and then I'm going to. Well, on Amazon, I'm sure you remember the episode, Ezra, one of my favorites, called The Talons of Wing Chiang. Let the talons of Wing Chiang shred your flesh. Oh, see, it says Fantastic Four. Number 48 says, Ed, that would be the first Silver Surfer. What about it, buddy?
Yep. He's got an extra copy he wants to send us.
You want to sell a copy of us? Yeah. First Galactus.
Send it. Yeah, send it. I'm joking, yeah.
So that's a great. Yeah, of course you do. I used to have that. So I turned on the Talons of Wing Chiang Ezra. And lo and behold, look what they have on Amazon.
They edit it. Oh, yep.
No, it's a warning.
It's a warning. Okay.
Classic Doctor Who. It was on all parts of it, not just part 2, but that's the one I took a picture of. Season 14, episode 22, The Challenge of Wing Chang Part 2. But it's on all the parts. Doctor Who is a classic program which reflects the broadcast standards, language, and attitudes of its time. Some viewers may find this content offensive. And if you find this content offensive, go call your mommy and tell her to, bring you a fresh bottle, change your diaper. Dad man walking, what's up, buddy?
You offended?
Put you in your basket and put you to sleep.
By the statement, I'm saying. You were probably offended by this. You should write to Amazon and say,
I am.
This warning offended you.
I'm gonna say you guys offended me with this crap. So, and you know what this is in reference to, right?
Yeah. Well, because it's isn't the villain basically a
Chinese?
It's a Fu Manchu, basically, right?
It's kind of a Fu Manchu type character in it.
Yeah, if I remember.
They do say some things about Chinese people, but it's fixed into the context of the time. This was Victorian London.
Yeah.
And they said certain things, but they didn't say anything that bad. And also, but they were also, I mean, what's offensive? There was a white actor that played one of these characters that happened to be Chinese or Asian or whatever, and they did it because they couldn't find anybody to play the freaking role. This is the BBC, man.
Yep.
So Ezra, I just thought that was
time, yeah.
Ezra. I'm sure you remember that episode. Great episode, by the way.
But is that on every Doctor Who episode now? Old Who, maybe? It's only on certain ones.
I think it's just the Challenge of Wing Chang. I'm going to go check some other ones.
Yeah, just
wasn't on the horror at Fang Rock. No.
Now, these are free to watch on Amazon, or this
Amazon
is with the Prime?
BritBox.
Through BritBox. BritBox through Amazon.
I have BritBox.
Yeah, so it's BritBox. Yeah, because you can buy Amazon. You can buy BritBox through Amazon.
Thank you, Cardi, for that super chat again. I appreciate you, buddy. He says, Ed says she. Ed is she. Okay. Has almost every issue of Silver Surfer and has Galactus on one shoulder and the Silver Surfer on the other. Cool.
Which one is that? Was that the Silver Surfer? One of the first 16 or 18?
And has Galactus on one shoulder and Silver on. So she has Galactus on her shoulders.
Let me see.
But was that on her shoulders?
How many were the 18 issues of that first one? First one or 16? I always forget.
I say, old boy, I don't know if I can do Jago. Henry Lightfoot and Jago. Oh, I can't say. Quite a character, that doctor. He's a detective, for Scotland Yard. I believe he solves all their cases for them. Yeah, so I saw if that was a terrible Jago, but I love Jago. Jago and Lightfoot. Did they do some Ezra? Didn't they do some Jago and Lightfoot Big Finish stories or something with those actors? Or Lightfoot was sort of like a Watson type. He was a coroner, and Jago was this guy that put on the shows, club acts or whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just trying to remember what episode. Looking through the covers of Silver Surfer, Volume 1, which is the one comic I always wanted to complete that, and I had a chance to buy issue number 1 years ago, and I should have bought it. It was like $200. I'm like,
that's sure what he means
too much money.
Where he says
Surfer on the shoulder.
Galactus on one shoulder and the Silver Surfer on the other shoulder. I'm not sure what that said. Almost every issue of Silver Surfer and has Galactus on one shoulder and the Silver Surfer on her shoulders. I'm not sure I follow that, buddy, but don't worry about it. If you feel like explaining, you can. You follow that?
I'm just guessing. I thought it maybe referenced the cover, but
no. But why would Galactus? They're not the same size. Galactus, how could he be on somebody's shoulder?
Oh, maybe he took a picture with Galactus on his shoulder and Silver Surfer on the other. I don't know.
Sean MNT, hey there. Tattoos on the shoulders, Clobby. Thank you.
Ah, there we go. We're missing one word there.
Okay. Yeah, because it says Ed. It says she has almost every issue of Silver Surfer and Galactus
Yeah.
on one shoulder, and the Silver Surfer on the other. Okay, I didn't know you. I mean, I had just no clue you were talking about tats. That's on me though for being
Yeah.
being an old funny
Well,
gun.
no, how
Thank
are we
you,
supposed to guess that? I mean, thank you for the
thank you,
super
Sean.
chat. But yeah,
Tattoos, yeah. Appreciate the super chat, Cardi. That's my bad, buddy, for not
no, we're
getting
not
it. But
that
Sean
smart.
helped us.
Come on.
Yeah,
we're
I
not
mean, I
that
guess
smart.
no, maybe we should have. I didn't even think about tattoos. So you
Yeah,
stumped both of us there.
I'm too old for tattoos. Now everyone's got
Yeah.
tattoos everywhere now.
Right.
I don't have any tattoos anywhere.
Oh, you didn't have.
But the
You didn't have
Cardi,
to
you
do
don't have
that.
to do that.
Sorry, he has a
Jeez.
tattoo of Galactus on one shoulder and Silver Surfer tattooed on the other. Thank you, buddy. You didn't. You could have just said it, man. You didn't have to give me
The
another
regular
super
chat.
chat.
Jeez.
You could have done it in a regular chat, my friend. But I thank you for it. You're very generous, buddy. Thank you, man. I got you.
But wait, Cardinal, can you list in separate super chats all his tattoos all over his body?
Yes.
No, just kidding.
I want you to put $2,000 super chats telling me exactly which characters are on all of them. Kidding, don't you? Not that he would
Don't
anyway.
dare do that.
No, you can do
don't
$1 million one though. You think anyone's ever done $1 million super chat? I don't know.
I don't think so. No, George has maybe. George the Giant Slayer. I don't know.
No, not $1 million one. Ezra says Ezra Gold says I didn't even see Talons at the time because TVO the provincial broadcaster in Ontario, Canada, didn't broadcast the episode because they didn't want to offend the Chinese community at the time. Wow. My goodness. And that was 1976 or something.
They might have had a big Chinese community too. Not that it should matter,
dude.
but
and that's back in 1970. Like I said,
yeah.
I want to say 76, 75. Holy crap.
Well, plus if you're portraying someone in the past too, that's how are you supposed to portray it too? Like we were talking about, I was watching some of the was it Sherlock Holmes, or it was the one where they made Sherlock Holmes look like an idiot, and they had an Asian character, and it was the one with Superman in it. What's his name? Enola Holmes, or it was Enola Holmes, or no, it was the Sherlock. No, it was the Sherlock where Sherlock. Sherlock was the drug dealer, and Watson was. Well, I know actually it wasn't Enola Holmes. I'm mistaken. It was similar to Enola Holmes, but it was Watson was actually the genius who was solving everything, and Sherlock's Holmes was a drug-riddled heroin addict. It was a Amazon or a Netflix
Flaming
series.
Carrot. Okay, we got a Flaming Carrot tattoo. Wow, cool. So
nice.
wait a minute.
So, but one of the Asian characters was basically living in the streets. They had the kind of like the whole bunch of homeless kids. And I've mentioned it before. And then the royal prince is driving through, and she something happens, and she like attacks the footmen or attacks the carriage and berates them for picking on her. I'm like, back then, the guards would have gotten out of the carriage, and this would be horrible, but they would give her a beating or whatever, lock her up in the Tower of London or whatever. I mean, so it's showing something totally unrealistic at the time.
Mackie
I was laughing at it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll try to figure out what it was, but it was a Netflix special.
I know what you're talking about. I've heard of it too.
You've seen
the
it.
Irregulars or something?
The Irregulars or something. Yeah, I think it was Netflix. The Irregulars.
It
wasn't horrible.
Thought you were describing Without a Clue, by the way, which was a funny movie. But go ahead.
Yeah. The Regulars. Yeah. So it wasn't totally horrible, but it just pulled you out. And I was just laughing, and I'm like, if this young girl would have been lucky to have survived, doing what she did to Prince Leopold. So, they're kind of portraying history too in some ways, is making it they're removing some of the horrible things that happen, and it just doesn't make sense. So
yeah.
I think Doomcock talked about that with us too on one of the shows years ago. Yeah. We mentioned it. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Yeah, the Regulars. Was it? Regulars are fairly new. Without a Clue. Yeah, Without a Clue was the 80s. I wish I know Claude's got a copy of Without a Clue. Did you ever see that? That was a fun movie.
No, I've never seen that yet.
All right, it's a movie with Michael Caine and Ben Kingsley, and the bad guys, Paul Freeman from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Basically, he's Ben Kingsley plays. He's basically Watson. He's like, Dr. Watson. He's the crime doctor, but he never could sell any of his books about a doctor solving crimes. So he created the character of Sherlock Holmes, and he wrote those books, and he's the really one saving it. So he eventually hired an actor, an old drunk actor played by Michael Caine, to be Sherlock Holmes, and they would go around solving mysteries, and it would really him always feeding him and stuff, and of course Moriarty was in it, played brilliantly by Paul Freeman, and it was a fun. I really love that movie. It's great. Yeah,
sounds good. Yeah,
I love the part where he basically, because Moriarty tried to kill him one time before. It was Professor Moriarty. Oh my God! Yes, don't worry. He knows you're an idiot. In other words, Moriarty knew that Watson was the that was a fun movie. Michael Caine was great in that.
Yeah, I love Michael Caine. He's awesome, man. What was Tom Baker's first season in Who history? What I'm trying to remember now.
12.
It started in 12 was Dr. 4, right? Yeah, probably
12 season, 74, 75, whatever, 74.
Yep, good memory.
He was season 12. And I know that because I have this right here, that season 14 was let's see. Let the talons of Wing Chang shred your flesh. Sorry, but that's how he said it. I know it's annoying, but that's how he said it.
Well, they're campy in a way too. I mean, the Doctor Who episodes in a good campy way. I mean, it's I
love Tom Baker.
Yeah, but I he's first Doctor I ever watched, and most people, I'm guessing too, other than before the modern era started. But I just love Tom Baker. I don't think there was anyone else, and you couldn't watch anyone else either for many years, even if you tried. So
I can't believe back then they wouldn't show that episode though. Ezra, that's crazy because Ezra, I didn't know you were in Ontario up there. So I can't believe that
Canada's a little bit stricter too, I think.
Yeah, but okay, but I mean, I can see this is the kind of thing that I can't see that they would care about. I mean, back then I didn't know there was ever a controversy. Maybe there was some controversy back then, some still, but I don't know. I do know that there was this podcast I found a couple of years back, and there were these two chicks. I was looking for Blake 7 podcasts. Anyone to talk about, because you can't find anyone to talk about it with me but me. And I was looking for this a couple of years ago, like I said, and I found one. And I listened to these ladies. There's two, seemingly, I could tell that they were old enough to know the show, but they weren't. I mean, they weren't old enough to have watched it back then, if you see what I'm saying. But they weren't super, super young, but not, you know what I mean, right? They weren't old enough to really watch it and understand it in 1978 and I'm pretty sure. But they probably saw it when they were young kids and then they watched it later. But they know the show, by the way. And so I thought, well, this is cool. Someone talking about the show in depth. And they were reviewing episodes. And I start to listen to one of their podcasts. And like I said, it's been a couple of years, a year or two. And they start talking about it. They have this segment to talk about all the horrible, problematic things that are in this episode. First, they were talking about, they start out, you could tell they claim to love the show. But they start out naming all these horrible sexist and all this other crap in there. Midnight's Oblivion. Hey there, good to see you. I'm like, wait a minute. This is not what I want to listen to. I want to hear your crap about the Bechdel test and all the sexist shit you're whining about.
Blake 7. Anyway, that was a joke. Crap. Anyway,
they're whining about the sexism and racism and all this kind of crap. The 1978, 79, 80, 81 TV show, which, by the way, isn't there. They're wrong. I mean, not only that's not what you talk about when you review an episode. They were dead wrong about this bullshit. It's like I wrote them before that saying I really like your show. When I heard I heard that part, and then later when I heard that, I said, I'm not, screw them. And interestingly enough, a couple of years before that, there was a Fantastic Four podcast that I used to listen to. These two guys, two Brits, they were reviewing every single Fantastic Four appearance from the very beginning through the Strange Tales appearances, the Marvel 2-in-1, everything there was in order, right? And they were like hour and a half shows, very in depth. And they would even talk about the ads in the comic, what music was going on at the time. Really good show. And then I started listening to them, and like when they were getting into some of the ones I started when they were in the 70s, so I just threw a couple random ones on. I was really enjoying it. Every now and then they'd have to stop. They had some TDS, which was not great, but I had to stop. They had to stop and talk about give trigger warnings about some of the stuff in it would be problematic for today. This would be racism now. In other words, they would complain about stuff that's racist, wassist, and sexist and H-phobic and all this kind of stuff, which was all, again, bullshit. So these guys basically, when they were just breaking down the comic, it was great. When they started doing that crap, I'm like, oh, God. Just no one wants to hear that crap. Nobody cares. That you think that an advert from 1978 is going to trigger somebody at that point, in 2018, which is when I was listening to that. I'm like, no. Idiots.
I found something on the interwebs. Is always reliable, but I guess the Chinese-Canadian National Council of Equality characterizes the content of the episodes as dangerous, offensive, bleep, stereotyping, which associate the Chinese with everything fearful and despicable. As a result of their complaint to TV Ontario, the Canadian channel chose not to broadcast all 6 episodes of the serial. Christopher Bain wrote, if it wasn't for the uncomfortably blank aspects of the story, it'd be close to perfection. In 2013, Digital Spy placed in the top 10 of Doctor Who, while commenting that Holmes' desire to reflect the UK's 70s fascination with mysticism and the martial arts led to a rather unfortunate depiction of Asian culture. In 2020, streaming service BritBox added trigger warnings to the serial after the suitability of the continuing to host on the service was called into question by viewers. Wow. It was subject to also the subject of discussion focusing on the representation of ethnicity on archive TV at the British Film Institute. So I guess it was controversial to the Chinese in Canada, and they complained, and they decided not to play it. So, and they said that there was some, I haven't seen this in years, but said some English characters to play blank attitudes towards the Chinese characters, which go unchallenged by the Doctor, who normally stands up for marginalized groups. Many Chinese immigrants are portrayed in stereotypical fashion.
Oh, so stupid. First of all, the reason why the Doctor wasn't standing up, because they say, for these particular people in this story, they were the Tong. They were criminals. They were trying to kill people. They tried to kill him in the story. One walks up behind him and tries to kill him, and Leela kills him from behind, and he bitched her out. I told you not to kill anybody. He was about to kill you. He goes, oh, okay. So, what the hell was he supposed to do? I mean, and see, today they couldn't do that story today. They would write it to where one of the people that he befriends in the episode would have been Asian, I guess, or something, which would have been their way. They think that solves it. It just so happened to be the muscle that Wang Chiang, Magnus Creel from the future, was using. Happened to be the tongue, and they were bad guys. I'm sorry. And the magician that he was using to lure all these girls so he could steal their life force, he happened to be an Asian character, an Asian magician. It was performing in Jago's theaters, his show. So it was all pertinent to the story. Nobody was being portrayed in any other kind of other but a realistic light. And people were being bad guys and good guys. It just so happened. I mean, what was he supposed to do? Was he supposed to make like the Tong like a bunch of white dudes too?
Well, what you can't do is have certain characters be bad guys anymore. That's the problem. So
he was supposed to. This is 1976. What do you mean anymore? You couldn't do it then. Apparently, I guess 1976 you can't do it. Well, according to these idiots, you did it in the BBC. It's just fine. Nobody bitched about it in UK. I didn't know anyone
today
about
everything
back then.
is. We probably don't want to go down that rat hole, and as we're talking about the episode, probably don't want to mention the rat, I guess, too much. But
1977. I'm just surprised that they bitched about it back then. I'm not surprised by this stupid crap Amazon's doing. Yeah, Ezra surprised me by telling us how they were doing that crap. Yeah. So people of color. can't be villains no matter how far back you go in history. I guess that's true. So I'm just my surprise is that it happened that in Ontario they worried about it. That they cared about that kind of stuff.
They responded to a complaint by the Chinese
yeah,
group.
they did have those groups. Yeah,
so they did respond, and they probably watched it and decided that it didn't purport to their standards and weren't going to show it.
Well,
so
I guess I'm blind because I watched it again the other day for I don't know how many times, and I was saying like, well, all these characters are in earnest. I mean, they're written to be. They're not. I mean, what's stereotypical? They talk like people do legitimately talk. Obviously, with an accent. Like when a character talks with an accent like that, the character played the bad guy, one of the bad, the magician guy. Well, I mean, is that accent not realistic? I think it is. And there was some great, fascinating stuff that they've never touched on later, where the Doctor's talking about this 55th century because it's villains from like the far-flung future, and the Peking homunculus, little Deep Roy's in this one, both. The pig-faced, pig-brain homunculus. And God, Baker just smolders in this one. He's great. He's dressed as Sherlock Holmes. Leela's great in it. God, I love this episode.
I said it's considered one of the best of all the serials. So
it's my top 20 for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, yes, things, if you view things from a different time period, things today, some things are going to be cringy if you look back then. But even with Spielberg was saying the other day that you can't judge things by today's standards, and I've said that. I always say that too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't acknowledge, and warnings don't bother me as much if they're written the right way. It depends on what's obviously what's in how the warning is phrased in the episode. But at least they're showing it. I mean, the next step is what if they totally pull, God forbid, pull the episode, right?
Yeah, it's still stupid to have that, but yeah, I mean, especially on BritBox, for God's sake.
So it's BritBox. But
I mean, the Brits, they have some. I mean, I can't think of there's so much stuff I've seen in British comedy where they don't give a crap. They got all kind of quote unquote things that are offensive. Like, oh my God, I mean, certain words, I guess. Was it Matthew Pounder says, like he says, they address racism in the story. I heard we all look the same, or words to that effect. Says Holmes was in other words I forget which character was saying was critiquing prejudice. We all look the same type, whatever. It's just God.
I haven't seen it long enough to comment on it again, but
no, I got you.
I'll start watching it tonight. But
I get in a Doctor Who mood. I just didn't see anything. I mean, seriously, that I think should have been offensive. Other than I think one of the things they claim is, that I guess they're I can't remember which character they're complaining about being a white dude playing an Asian character, the character that was supposed to be played by an Asian, but they couldn't find the actor. I don't know if it was the guy playing Magnus Grill, aka Wing Chiang, or the guy playing Mr. Chen or Chan or whatever, the guy the Mr. Chan, the magician. Both good actors, and I don't know. I mean, and
that's
they
a very common
giant
complaint,
rats.
And it's something that it's also something that happens.
That's
very
part
common.
of it. Yeah,
so it's not unusual to have something like that happen. So I mean, it's just the way things were back then. But it's like if you'd grown up 200 years ago, what would your attitudes have been? I mean, you'd hope you would have a much more quote unquote enlightened attitude. But if you grow up being taught certain things, then it's really tough to break through. I'm not condoning it, but if you grew up 200 years ago, you're gonna have a much different worldview than you would today. And also the way you were taught, that kind of stuff is taught. And then if everyone's teaching you that, then how do you break out of that cycle? It's a heck of a lot tougher. And some people did, but it was more uncommon than common. It took later movements before things really did change, but it's so short-sighted, I think, for some of these people to say, oh, we've got to ban this stuff, we're not going to show it, we're going to totally eliminate a lot of the Bugs Bunny cartoons or Water Brothers cartoons. They want to totally erase from history some of the World War II cartoons and Disney. I mean, the portrayals too, think of World War II, and the Japanese were portrayed horribly in a lot of those Disney cartoons. But then you think of the time period and all the people that are getting killed and fighting. You don't want to excuse that, but it was, everyone was doing it, so it wasn't considered out of bounds then. So, and then when you watch it today, you kind of say, oh yeah, maybe that was over the top and horrible, but it's also in the context of history and what's happening and the portrayal of quote unquote the enemy back then too, that you're fighting a war. So
yeah,
but
this actor, I don't think he was I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. I've seen him all over Doctor Who. What else? He's got a bunch of stuff. I don't. The guy who played the character called Chang. He is John Bennett. Of course, was not. He's not Asian.
Yeah,
I don't think. Did I know?
No, yeah. So that's what I was checking.
See some of the other actors. I was looking at some of the cast for this episode. The guy who plays we'll see who plays Wing Chang, plays Magnus. We're gonna find other episodes for that though. Part 1, part 2.
Yeah, Michael Spice, as you said, played Wang Chang. Yep.
Yeah, he's not.
No, he's not. Yeah.
No, he's not.
Well, look at Breakfast at Tiffany, with probably one of the worst depictions ever, with Mickey Rooney as it playing an stereotypical Asian character.
90,
pretty bad. Yeah.
98% were white British. British back then. There were many Chinese actors to choose from. There weren't many Chinese actors to choose from. Yeah.
Yep.
That guy was on a Blake 7 episode too, John Bennett. I don't remember. But you can't tell when you look at him in that episode. He is wearing, I guess they're calling it what kind of face? I don't want to say it.
Yeah, don't say it. Yeah,
just face. Yeah, Asian face, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it.
Well, they're using, it's just say they're not using the actor that, of the correct nationality there. So they use makeup. So, and back then it was not considered offensive by most people. I'm sure some Asian people were offended, but it just wasn't, wasn't considered that.
Yeah. Michael Spice, that's right. Yeah, Michael Spice was. I think I know what I've seen that guy in a bunch of stuff. Michael Spice. He did the voice of Morbius. Guy did a lot of voice stuff. Okay. Well, I guess he didn't like to show his face. So this basically what we've learned, folks, is that it's completely racist. Yep, yellow face. Oh dear. Well, what you got going on? Let's start moseying on out of here since I started the show a half hour late.
Yep, it got late early, as Yogi Bear would say, from the Yankees.
Got late early. Yep. I like it.
Yep. So, I did a short. A lot of people seem to like the Ben Grimm versus the Hulk short. Yep. So I'll post that link in there.
I didn't see it. Someone mentioned it when I first started tonight that you'd done that. I haven't seen it yet, so put it in there.
Yeah. So let me throw that in there. Yeah. So if anyone hasn't seen it, it's a pretty cool toy, and it's actually pretty expensive on Fleabag. I was looking to see. Norm, I don't care what this stuff is. It's just, I love having collecting this old stuff. Well, now it's old. It's 2006. It's old now. And let me put the link in here. And it's I guess it's probably, I don't know if it was more rare or but it's pretty expensive on Fleabane. And that's the same series, and they did the FF 232, Everyone versus Galactus.
Mm-hmm. I got that one.
Well, I'll show it for 2 seconds
I
without,
got that.
where's it? Just so let me present it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's one of the classic classic fun dioramas. So
cool. Well,
yeah, you can't get any. So that's Marvel. Was that Marvel Presents number 11, I believe, right?
yes, Jim Starlin.
Yeah, and then that became
presents or feature.
Oh, feature. You're right. Feature. Yep.
Remember feature.
Feature number 1. Yep. Feature number 1. Yep.
Fuck, do I know that?
Because you got a good memory.
No, I don't. Stop saying that.
Well, I just posted in my thing and I forgot.
Useless
I said
memory.
the wrong thing. I'm useless. I said the wrong thing.
Farther back it goes. I don't understand it. Yeah, I mean, Max von Sydow played Ming. They get away with that, I guess, because Ming was from another planet. But yeah, Ben Kingsley asked for Gandhi. They probably will take it away from him.
No, but no. He's part Indian, Ben Kingsley.
He's part Indian. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So because I checked that at one point too, because the way things were going. So
yes, sir.
Was, yeah.
Well,
from famous Gandhi movie. Yep.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and close the poll up before we get out of here. All right, 54 votes, everybody. Thank you so much for voting. I appreciate it. Wowzers. Okay, that question was: are you going to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at the theater movie cinema tomorrow or whenever? Are you gonna? And a whopping 79% said noper. No, sir. Not a chance. Will I go see that one, Howard? I'll wait till it comes on cable and miss it then too. I don't know. They didn't say that. And only 20% said yes. Oh my goodness. A poll complete of 54 amazing votes. This is an incredible outcome. Unbelievable in the annals of Clobberin polls. I tell you, folks, I've never seen anything quite like it. And I'm glad our good buddy Steve Mitchum is not listening because he hates when I do this. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? What an upset. Oh, my. Sorry. I'm sorry, Hungry Boy, but Steve hates that. But he already went to bed. If he didn't, I'm in trouble. Okie dokie. Yep. Well, let's see what's going on open here tomorrow night, folks. Tomorrow night, I will be joined by the great, wonderful Raquel Briggs, our wonderful first officer, and of course, the great Barty with C's for Clobby's Clubhouse. Same Clobby time, same Clobby channel, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will review stuff and things.
Things.
I gotta remember to watch my UFO tonight. Sean Carter.
Yeah. Oh,
he's been lurking.
And you have to watch. We have to find out what the episodes are for Tales of Tomorrow, so we don't get shin kicks.
Oh, I would like to watch those, but I don't know what they are. If you could help me.
We'll have to ask Raquel what they are, and I'll be doing the what. Well, I'm not sure with the order. I'll double check because Raquel went out of order. She did the Tubi 1 through 18, but the Tubi numbers don't match up with.
Hoopers. Ask which one
the
she's
other numbers. I shall check.
Sneak it to me. Don't tell her that you're sneaking it to me, but if you can sneak them to me somewhere, I might surprise her and try to watch them. I feel so bad about not watching them. Let's see. Donnie.
I did too. I missed them last week. Yeah.
So anyway, I must go now. Thank you both, Mike. Thank you. Well, thank you, Donnie. I'm so glad to see you. We're gonna appreciate you. Before we get done, I want to say that then there's Friday night. I should be hanging out with Nick Weiser and the boys over there at the comic shop, if he's still doing that this week. I don't know. Sometime in the far-flung future, this is going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. I'm so scared. No, I don't know. I can't do it. Stop. I don't want to do it. I want to do it. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. It's going to take some time. I should not have been doing that. Then Saturday night Star Trek, same Trek time, same Clubby channel. 4 more episodes of Deep Space Nine reviewed by our wonderful first officer and myself. Wackiness shall no doubt ensue. And then Monday night early show on the Great J Man's channel, our ongoing mission to review all of the Legion of Superheroes appearances from 1958 to 1989 in order. So that's what means a bunch of different, in and out of a bunch of titles so far. And we will have Action Comics 276 and Superman number 147 reviewed. J-Man and Sean, what a great time I'm having doing that. And then, of course, there'll be my regular, after that at 9, my regular Monday Night March C Comics Talk. Don't know exactly what I'm doing that, but we'll see. I do know that a week from this Monday, we're going back to Earth B. The great J-Man will join me for another excursion into Earth B for a Wacky World of Bob Haney presentation on Monday Night March C Comics Talk early special, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Clabby's Classic Comics Review. Yeah, and this one is going to drive you bonkers for sure. This, I'm going to owe you an apology after this one. Both J-Man and I are going to. Your sanity will probably cost you this time. Would you see? This might be the wackiest one yet, and we've only done 6 so far. It's like the 6th one. Probably should have saved it for like after. No, this is it. You're going straight to the loony bin after. If you read this comic, if you let us read it to you, you might be okay. If you let us just tell you about it, you might survive. If you read it yourself, like us, you may go stark raving nuts. Because that's what I felt like after I read it. Maybe that's why my memory's so bad now, even worse. So, thank you all so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ezra Goldstein. I wish you'd tell that Steve Mitchum fella that he hates my How It Goes Sell. Yeah. What's that?
Oh, and then I will be doing a watch party. I got to figure out the time. I'm going to see my niece in Seussical at
Who?
my niece is in a play tomorrow, Seussical at school, but I think I got to see how long it is. I think it's only, hopefully it's only an hour.
Watch party for, you mean for,
well, I've got to
oh,
arrange it
UFO?
around the watch party, so I got to find,
Oh,
for the UFO watch party, so I got to arrange it
Gotcha.
around. So I'll let everyone know what
time you if you do it, I might be able to just watch the episode with you then. Because
you just watch it with us. Yeah.
If I'm not on with Tom, I might be. I don't think I'm going to be back in time to back at home in time to go on Tom's show tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Let's see, 3:35. But I might not be able to go on Tom's show. So, but if not, then I'll better watch it with you. But if I can,
I'll figure out one. I'll either do it at 8:30, or I usually do 8:30, or if I won't be home by 8:30, I'll have to do it earlier. But just watch the Twitters and the YouTube and the Tales of Tomorrow episode. I believe, without checking Raquel, should be 17 and 18, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, The Chase, and The Escape. So I don't know if they sound like they're connected episodes. Yep. On Tales for Tomorrow. Yep. So episode 17 and 18. Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
And so they're two up that one, and what else?
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. One's called The Chase. The next one's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, The Escape.
That's a two-parter.
They're listed as episode of 17 and 18. So I'm assuming they're, it's a two-parter. That's my assumption. So we'll check with Raquel, but that's an order. That should be the two episodes. Yeah.
All right, then. Well, everybody, want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. Really appreciate it. Let me shout out our wrenches real quick, and we'll get out of here. The great Eric K. Chris Persia, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it, man. D-Bud Martin, Lord Thoth, the Lady Thoth. Avon lives long live Legion. The great J-Man, Hungry Boy, Kal-El, Maddie's Daddy, Fanty Outsidey. And I want to thank you all for being here with us tonight. Ezra, it was good to see you. And, of course, could not be reached. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for hanging with us. And Sean Carter, it's good to see you. Thank you all, everyone who lurked, and everyone who was listening to this on a download or a replay. I really do appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, if you could hit that like button and maybe even consider subscribing if you haven't already, I would really appreciate that. I always forget to ask that, but hey. But anyway, JT Kirk, Donnie, Oliver, Ezra, again, like I said, let's see who else was here. May as well knock them all out. We've been there this long. Matthew Pounder, Midnight's Oblivion, Cardinal Sin. Thank you, Cardi. Appreciate for all that. all you've done, buddy. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Claude Sowling, Dad Man Walking. Admiral Tig, the Dork Knight was here. Thank you, the Dark Knight. Dee Dee Myers was here. Dave Rayborn Cuz. Dave C was here. Dave G Sound was here. A lot of Dave, man, there's a lot of David going on. Oliver Belamonte's here also. And a whole lot of Davin tonight. I like the Davin. Man, I got me some Daves.
You're gonna sing do we have a Dave song?
I'm working on it. Zacharot and Zathra, some Z's too, you know. We'll see Dave. That's your name is Dave. Sorry, everyone. Sorry. I think that's probably everybody. Wouldn't you say? You probably wouldn't say that.
Most people, yep.
That's probably.
You said Dad Man, right?
Oh yeah. That's probably.
I can't remember. That was 3 minutes ago. I can't remember.
Pat S popped in, and Grim popped in, and that 70s popped in earlier. You got a little 70s to come hang out with us. One of these nice
yeah.
DVB popped in. Gamer Boy 1124 popped in as well. Brian Hepburn, Apollome's Minion, and the Bupper. Let's see here. Got to be somebody else. All right. Okay. This is now. May as well play the game since we're here. Are you saying Jay Picasso? Now, are you saying yes? There's somebody else or nobody else?
It's just the odds are there's got to be someone else, but I wasn't here all night, so I'm out of the loop in terms of who was here at the show today.
Keely Chow. So yeah, there was.
Bud.
Yep, there was. Okay, now though, for sure, I'm going to make a bet here. I'm going to bet that I got everybody. That there's nobody else that I haven't. Alejandro Flores Ibarra. See, and Stephen Ransom. Wow. See how screwed that up. I know that a lot of them are not even here anymore, but it doesn't matter. They were nice enough to be here. What at least we could do once in a while is to shout them all out. Yeah. They were very nice of them to hang out and give them their time. They don't have to do that, and we appreciate it. Largo's Lair. Hey there. I don't think I shouted them out initially. Sometimes they get by me, folks. I'm sorry. And that's it. Unless somebody else popped in while I was doing that. That Guagnar popped in. Look at that. See? Boom. And Sean MNT. Thank you for being here. Thank you all. Really, really appreciate it, everyone. So, everybody, have a fantastic remainder of your week. And we'll see you on the streamers. Later, my friends.
It's Clobberin time. Clobberin. It's Clobberin.